Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all doing well this morning. Let's go through the charts. We'll start with the US dollars, US dollar pairs. Let's go for hour. All right. So yesterday, this is where we were on the DXY. We're looking for this structure: 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. At 0.618, we're looking for a correction. Is that going to be the correction, or is that the end of the DXY move? You saw the comparison that we did with the previous structure that happened on the previous correction, not here. So we're looking for this pullback. We're expecting it here at the 61. How is this going to play out? Is it going to do this and continue to the upside into the blue box? We need to watch what is going to happen here now. Okay, so previously we've had a structure like this that actually just went from current levels without giving us this one back. Let me just show with the yellow. Last time we did not get this one back. We're looking for this. We're looking for this structure. We didn't get that. It just went straight from down here. Okay, so if we get a trade set up for downside, we are still above 50 on the 4 hour. So that means we can still get our structure as expected here to the blue box, even though that can come correctively as follows. So far, everything is playing out as we forecasted yesterday. A reversal from the 0.618, similarly on the Euro US dollar, a reversal on the 0.618. So we showed this comparison on Euro US dollar yesterday. Exactly what happened the last time. We had the three-wave structure here. We had a 1, 2, 3 up. Same thing, we had a three-wave structure here. We had a 1, 2, 3 up. We had a 1, 2, 3 up. Let me switch off here. We had a 1, 2, 3 up. We had the red, this one here. It's the same degree. It's the same degree, and then it just went up like that. It just went up like that. So is this the end of the move? If that is the case, that means that is all the move and that is all the correction. And then we are now going to start looking for this to go to the upside. Now, if we need to get a trade set up here that confirms upside. How do we confirm that upside? To confirm that upside, we need to have that RSI on the 4 hour above 50. We also need the RSI on the daily to be above 50 as well. So 4 hour is just at the 50 level. On the daily, we're still just below 50, so there's no confirmation yet. So the confirmation will come if we get this corrective structure here. Okay, so otherwise we are still expecting this 1, 2, 3 and then upside. Okay, so that's what we're expecting. We are below 50 on the daily, so likely that we are still going to see a US dollar continue to the downside for that move. Let's see how that plays out. Pound US dollar, like we said yesterday, the daily is still well above 50, so you don't rush into this. Wait for it to give you confirmation for another leg higher. If we're gonna get to 144, remember the target for this one is 144. This leg, we just want that leg to go to 144. So any continuation pattern is an opportunity to get involved there with a pound US dollar. US dollar chief, 1, 2, 3. Is this the end of the correction on US dollar chief based on what we're seeing on the DXY? Are we going to start seeing this one come down? The DXY has come down actually on the daily, but this one did not quite show anything. Okay, we've got this reversal candle here on the DXY, but the chief does not really show anything there. So let's see how that's going to play. Right, so there's another possibility on the DXY and the Euro. The structure could be something like this. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's verify if that structure is valid. If this can be an expanding flat, we're going to have a structure like this, So we need to verify if this one is between 105 and 138, looks like it. This one does not more than 165, 1.618 extension. Let's check first. But even if it doesn't, just by looking at that, it has got the right look. So it does look like a decent structure. If we take it there, so that one is, it's actually just closest to the 1,618. So let's just watch the structure. And according to the Fibonacci guidelines, the expanding flat is too wide on the top. It's too wide. It goes way above 138 and it's closer to 1,618. And this is what it looks like. So if you look at that structure, you'll see that it is closer to 1,618. This is where the 1,618 is. This is where the structure ended. It's just slightly above 38, but it still has the right look. So if that is the structure, that will support this confirmation of upside. Right, pound US dollar, we've already gone through US dollar chief, US dollar CAD. So US dollar CAD, we know by now we don't buy US dollar CAD. So we've been with this impulse. We only expected to get confirmation for a correction and the upside. As you can see, you never got that correction to get at least a three-wave move. It is just coming down from those levels. So US dollar CAD, any continuation pattern here, you can look to continue to take it to the downside. We don't buy US dollar CAD until we get around 1.20 on US dollar CAD. Audi US dollar, showing continuation to the pattern to the upside. This not on the 4-hour though. We're going to see further upside here on Audi US dollar. Let's have a look here on the 1 hour. 4 hour does not have a trade setup. 1 hour may be showing continuation to the upside. So 1 hour is showing us a setup for continuation to the upside. So on the 1 hour, we are going to see this break to the upside and then do this. Look at this. We are above 50. We've reset it. We're going to see continuation to the upside on Audi US dollar. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same scenario on New Zealand US dollar, which it is 1, 2, 3. Wait for a break above this structure. Then you'll see New Zealand go around those levels, at least around the 50% of that whole move. US dollar ZAR getting weaker with the weakness in the US dollar. Let's go 4 hour. So this one, just like the CAD, let's switch off here. We are still expecting US dollar ZAR to get to these levels. Is this a correction that's going to resume to the upside? That's the expectation on US dollar ZAR. The US dollar is showing some weakness now. That's why you can see that it is being outperformed by the South African rand for now. Pound yen, we saw this one yesterday on the daily. You saw that this is still well above 50. So even if you do get one down here, that will be to complete this structure and look for further upside to around 156. All right. US dollar yen, continuation to the upside. Look out for this. We've reset it here on the 4 hour. So we're going to expect continuation to the upside. Euro yen. Euro yen, a 3-wave pullback. Now we're starting to move to the upside. We need to see if we're going to get an entry here and then upside. We're still looking for continuation to the upside on Euro yen. Chief yen, pretty much sideways here. So we could be looking for this one to do this short term on Chief yen. CAD yen. CAD yen has made a 3-wave pullback and it looks like it's resuming higher, and we're going to break the previous highs. We are here. This correction will be broken to the upside. Let's have a look at it in the 1 hour to see if there's a trade set up for upside there on Chief. Not a very clean one, but we can see that the 1 hour has resetted here. We just don't have a nice corrective structure here. This looks like a running flat, and this is pushing to the upside. We're going to see this one break the previous highs there. New Zealand yen. The indicators are showing us further upside. We're seeing this as a corrective structure. So that means if we're still going to see more upside as the indicator is showing us, that means that structure is still going to get to those levels. Audi yen. Continuation to the upside. RSI well above 50, we've reset it. We're going to see a continuation to the upside. Gold. Is gold ready to make a push to the upside, or is it going to do this before pushing higher? So for now, we are seeing the dip below 50 on the 1 hour, but this is already resetted here. If we see gold break above this structure, that's going to be a setup for the upside. Let's look at the 4 hour. So the 4 hour does not look good at all for gold. It looks like we're going to get one more down. If you look at this, we are at the top and we are well below 50. So even without the corrective structure here, gold should see one more leg to the downside. Silver, also below 50 at the top. This should follow what gold will do. So we'll expect one more down. Brent crude, some pullback finally. Some pullback on Brent crude, and then we're going to expect continuation to the upside. So pound chief has made this deeper pullback, but it's now making another resumption of the move to the upside. Every time we get a correction here, whether it's 4 or 1 hour, we're going to look to take pound chief to around this level. If we're going to get one more down, then we're going to look for further upside. Okay. Pound CAD. So pound CAD has been going sideways really. So initially we started with this move to the downside and we wanted to see if we're going to get a correction for downside here. Then it makes this impulsive move to the upside as if we're going to make a new high, which does not happen. Instead, we get a three-wave structure like this. Is this three-wave structure complete, or is this a continuation pattern to extend this down here before we resume with a correction here? Then we're going to look for downside. So for now, on the 4 hour, there's no trade setup. Let's check on the 1 hour. 1 hour looks like a trade setup, but not a strong one. So not an interesting one to look at. We're almost dipping below 50, so we'll expect this to continue lower here. Pound Audi. So Pound Audi, 1 hour trade setup for downside. That is a corrective structure. We're going to expect Pound Audi to do this. We're at the top here and we are below 50. So Pound Audi, we are going to see some downside on the 1 hour. Pound New Zealand, we're going to see this extend lower. We're at the top, we're dipping below 50. So we're going to see another move to the downside. Euro Pound. Euro Pound has now made a structure as follows. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then now we're looking for downside. That's our corrective structure, and now we're looking for downside here. So Euro Pound is looking downside. That means there's going to be some strength in the pound pairs. Look at the euros. Euro has made a deeper move to the downside after making this very strong move to the upside as follows. Now there's a trade setup for downside. This is a trade setup. We're going to see further downside on the euro. We're at the top, we are below 50. So that's a trade setup on the 1 hour on the euro. Expect downside. New Zealand, downside. We're at the top, below 50. Structure is showing us continuation to the downside. So we should see this one come down here. EuroCAD, single move to the upside. We are at the top already. We've dipped below 50. So we are going to expect continuation to the downside here. Simple as that. EuroChief, however, is the one of the few that is showing strength to the upside. That's a corrective structure. We will look for continuation to the upside. This is at the bottom. This is well above 50, which is what you want for a bullish move or continuation in that direction. New Zealand. So New Zealand, what you need to look at here is this correction coming down here, coming down around here before pushing up higher again. So you can get involved around these levels. Let's go again on the crosses, the rest of the crosses with the daily chart. So what we are waiting for is this on the dailies to check if all these structures have reached the end of their moves and if we're going to start getting this to come around these levels. So that is a significant move, about 500, 600 pips to around these levels if that is the end of the move. So all the structures on the crosses are looking like this. So I'm not going to go to the daily on the rest of them. You've already seen the structures on the daily previously. So I'm going to just look at this to see if we are really getting the reversal. This one on the daily, we are already dipping, just dipping below 50, but we're actually right at the 50 line. But again, at the same time, we are resetting here on the daily. We need to see this one drop below 50 to confirm that we're going to have a decent move to the downside. 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, we've got a nice trade setup that is showing us continuation to the downside. So by the time this confirms, we should have the daily confirming downside as well. So we'll have this one closing around here and then expecting it to continue to the downside. We're at the top, we are below 50. Good setup for downside. Audi Chief is making an impulse. So this one will be slightly different because you cannot sell this one now. New Zealand Canadian dollar also pulling back with this move. Is that a pullback? And now we're going to see this downside. Looks likely here because we're at the top, we're below 50. New Zealand Chief also moved above 50 on the 4 hour. Let's see if this is going to drop. Only if it drops, then we're going to look for that trade below. If we close below the lower boundary of the flag, will we look for a trade to the downside? And also the daily must confirm, the daily RSI must confirm that it's below 50. CAT makes the deep pullback, and now we're resuming the previous highs here. No new trade there. The indices are failing to break higher. Looks like the corrections are going to continue again. We had these moves that we thought were going to break yesterday, still have not, and this is now the corrective structure that we're going to be looking at. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then we'll expect another look to the upside on the S&P 500. Dow. Let's see what corrective structure we're going to get here on the Dow. But I'm still expecting continuation to the upside. Very slow structures, slow moves currently. The Nasdaq, again another pulse move down, correction. We'll expect this one before resumption of the move to the upside. UK 100 is interesting. This should break above here. We've got 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1. We should see a correction here, one more up, and then downside. DAX is already broken here, so it's looking more upside. So as you can see, this is where we are on the DAX. Has made a gap to the upside, but a gap for us is simply nothing other than just an impulse. Just means a very strong move. That's why there are gaps. So upside on the DXY. Nikkei. We're still correcting for this, but we'll expect further upside. And the Nifty looks promising, although if we're looking for these 3 waves and then upside, it's possible on the Nifty if it breaks and closes there. but the RSI is only just around the 50 line, so there's a possibility for this on the Nifty, a move down, 3 waves up here. If you see a move to the downside on the Nifty, do not immediately sell, because you may be getting this move. We are still bullish. All right, let's look at the cryptos. Bitcoin starting to look interesting again. Now, eventually we break out of this correction from yesterday. We're looking for upside here. So 1, 2. So we look at this structure as 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 3 waves down. How is Bitcoin ready to continue pushing up higher now? Let's watch. There's a possibility of this structure on Bitcoin. Before we go, so that will be 1 correction and correction. So 3, 3, 3 before we make a move to the upside. But that may not necessarily happen. If you see the last leg, if you look at the last leg, Bitcoin has made exactly a similar structure. It was 1, 2, 3, and then it went 1, 2, 3, and then it went. So similarly here, we're expecting a possible new leg on Bitcoin. Let's see how that's going to play out. We're currently around 50,600. So it will be very interesting to see if we're going to go all the way from there. So all the cryptocurrencies have resumed these moves to the upside with these current corrective structures that are breaking to the upside. 1, 2, 3, looking for upside. That is Ethereum Litecoin. Litecoin as well, 3 waves down. Impulse, we need to see this for us to confirm upside. And Ripple, Ripple is pretty much sideways, breaking up higher for this one here. Is it going to be looking for this structure? Let me just draw that structure again. So we could get and push that level to that level. We come back down here. That will be this 1, 2, 3 wave structure. Let's use a different color to clarify it. 1, 2, 3. 1 down, and then upside. So we'll be watching Ripple accordingly. Okay, guys, that's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.